Hey there, I'm Steve, and welcome to Jamson Entertainment. And welcome to the conversation. Just before we get started, there are many ways you can help. You can like and subscribe so you never miss a conversation. But most importantly, please share this video. Get the word out there as a community we can talk about all things that we love. I recently just saw Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves, starring Chris Pine, Michelle Rodriguez, Regé-Jean Page, sorry for mispronouncing that, Justice Smith, Sophia Lillis, Hugh Grant, Chloe Coleman, and Daisy Head. This movie is only slightly better than its counterpart, the first Dungeons & Dragons movie, and its sequel. Problem with this one is not so much the acting. The acting is really good, but there is still bad effects in here. There are some that are convincing, and then there are others that are like, really? You could have made those 3D effects look a little better. Some of them were just kind of glaringly bad. The biggest problem with this movie is, well, it starts with the trailer. The trailer completely and utterly lies to you. I guess to subvert your expectations? So the trailer has you thinking the plot of the movie is thieves steal something for a group of people who turn out to be red wizards, and those red wizards take said Jamson and cause chaos and destruction across the land. And it's up to the thieves to reverse the mistake that they made. That's the trailer. This one, it's the same thieves, but it focuses on Edgin, played by Chris Pine. He is what's known as a harper, which I guess is a subclass of bard in D&D. I don't know. The only time I played a bard was in 2nd edition, not 5th edition. But he swears an oath and he does a bunch of good, but he's still a thief at heart. And in doing that good, he puts his family in danger. He steals from the red wizards and they mark their gold with magic. So they find out where he lives, but he's off adventuring somewhere when the wizards come and kill his wife and they look for his baby daughter. Thankfully, because he is a thief, he has hidey holes, and that's where the wife put the baby Kira. And he's felt guilty about that ever since, and he wants to revive his wife. That's the A plot. The B plot is the red wizards are trying to cause chaos and destruction. What? But this could be a D&D campaign. It does show the party failing numerous times, and them eventually, well, they haven't done this. I have an idea that I'll explain after this. In D&D, if you're not familiar, you use dice. You roll the dice to determine outcomes of certain things. You roll to hit a creature. You roll to see if your spell is successful. You roll to jump onto something to make sure you don't slip and fall. Stuff like that. And you can see that the progression of this group get better through the movie, so you could say that they're making better rolls. I don't remember where I was going with that. Immediately we're just going to go to, you don't care about these characters. Okay, let me put it to you this way. If you never played Dungeons & Dragons before, and you merely watched a group of people play Dungeons & Dragons, that's basically what this movie is. What I mean is, if you're watching people play Dungeons & Dragons, you're not emotionally invested in what's going on. You don't really care if the player's character dies. And I'm not saying anything like that happens in here. I'm just pointing out, like, you just don't care. You're just watching people play a game, you're trying to figure it out. And that's what this movie's like. Sure, they give them backstories and everything, but it's all told to you. This movie is filled with exposition. Now, when you're playing Dungeons & Dragons, it too is filled with exposition. But it's completely different playing than watching a movie. I mean, I guess you could do show, don't tell with enough figures and set pieces. So in a movie, just expositing what happened to you doesn't work. It doesn't make me care about the character. You can see that the characters care about their mission, so it's still acted well. It's not like they're just going blasé through this. But I really wanted to get attached to something. I love Dungeons & Dragons, and I want to see a good Dungeons & Dragon movie, and we just haven't seen that yet. Another reason why I don't care about these characters is that they're useless. Which brings me to another thought I had about this movie. This is a Paramount movie. I think Paramount really regrets selling Marvel to Disney. You can really see this as them trying to make a Guardians of the Galaxy type movie, but there's also a blatant Hulk joke thrown in here at the end. So when I said the characters are useless, that's what made me remember the Marvel comparison. Chris Pine's character, Ed Gein, all he does is come up with plans, and he occasionally hits people with his lute, or he'll play some music sometimes, but he's not a bard in the D&D sense where he can play a song and it will give the party a boost, like a boost of health, speed, armor, something. It just uses it as a distraction. That's it. Like, I don't know how much research into the Dungeons and Dragons that they did for this. They get some elements right, other than just saying, hey, look, we got these creatures. The maze that's in this is pretty cool. Gelatinous cube, that's the name of it. That's accurate. They get aspects correct, but I don't know. It's just, it needed focus. I don't know why I just didn't deliver on the trailer's promise. That would have been an interesting story, because normally you see them do the task and it blow up in their face. The last third of the movie is them trying to fix that. But the trailer was saying they screwed up and the entire movie is going to be about them fixing their mistakes. I would have been very interested to see that, and then we got this mess. What I think would make a great Dungeons and Dragons movie is something like the Lego movie, in the fact that the story that you see with the Legos is actually children playing in the real world, and their playing is dealing with their emotions and what's going on in their lives. And D&D is the perfect concept for a movie to do character studies and moral storytelling, or just great storytelling in general, to do this. Imagine a group of kids playing Dungeons and Dragons. The dungeon master is probably, I don't know, 3 to 5 years older than them. Or you can even have it at a store, because there are stores where people can meet up and play Dungeons and Dragons. You can have the store owner be the dungeon master, introducing these group of kids to the game, and it can be a tight-knit community. He can know these kids and he can understand, he can hear like rumors and stuff like that, or maybe the kids confide in him about their troubles and stuff like that, and he uses D&D to help them figure stuff out in their real life without them knowing. How cool would that be? That would be amazing. I would love to see a D&D movie like that, where you can still go into the world of D&D because the kids are using their imagination to create this world. But it goes back to the real world sometimes, because then you got to see them deal with their problems and how they go from not knowing what to do to learning how to deal with life and even confronting whatever they may be confronting. That would be an amazing movie. I'd love to see that. As for this movie, if you're really curious, I would catch us on streaming. Those are my thoughts on Dungeons & Dragons Honor Among Thieves. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and live your imagination.